Good afternoon. We will continue with Constitution. We have taken up center-state relations and administrative relations we have already completed. Today we will see the legislative relations given in Article 245 to 255 in Part 11 of the Constitution. Remember, legislative relations given in Article 245 to Article 255 in Part 11 of the Constitution. You may recall that administrative relations between the center and the state, which we took yesterday, is reflected in Part 11 of the Constitution in Articles 256 to 263. Now, the federal constitution means division of powers. So, every federal constitution will have the powers divided between the union and the state. The division of these powers between union and the states, both with reference to territorial jurisdiction and subject jurisdiction. The division is on the basis of territorial jurisdiction and the subject jurisdiction. What is territorial jurisdiction? Territorial jurisdiction means the jurisdiction up to which the law will be enforced. The law can be enforced up to what limit? That is called territorial jurisdiction. So, the total division of powers we are going to see from two aspects. One is territorial jurisdiction and the other is subject jurisdiction. These two we are going to see. Now, in addition to this, the Constitution also provides certain extraordinary situations in which Parliament has been given the powers to make law on state subjects. So, we are going to see three aspects. One, as far as legislative relations are concerned, what is the territorial jurisdiction, both in respect of the states and in respect of the union. Remember, most important point, union territory has no such legislative powers. Union territories, those without legislature, have no legislative powers because union territory, for all practical purposes, it is under the union. So there is no legislative powers attached to the union territory. So that is they are not deriving power from the constitution. From Schedule 7 divides the powers only between the union and the state. So union territories do not come into the picture at all. Now these are all the three. One, what is the territorial jurisdiction? Two, what is the subject jurisdiction? Three, what are the extraordinary circumstances in which the parliament is competent to make law on the state subjects? So these are all the 3 points. See, in these 3 points, there are certain specific issues. What are the specific issues? Territorial jurisdiction of the parliament and state legislature, which I have already told you, which you have to see. Very important from the examination point of view. Secondly, distribution of legislative subjects, territorial jurisdiction and legislative subjects. Third is legislative powers of the parliament to make law on state subjects in certain special circumstances. Third. Fourthly, the powers of the center to control the state legislation in public interest. There are certain circumstances the state legislative powers are controlled directly or indirectly by the central government. So there are four aspects. Again, I repeat: number one, territorial jurisdiction; number two, subject jurisdiction; number three, special circumstances under which Parliament is competent to make law on state subjects; number four, the powers of the center either directly or indirectly to control the state legislations in public interest. These are all the four aspects which we are going to see under legislative relations, center-state legislative relations. Now, the Constitution defines the territorial jurisdiction of the legislative powers of the Union and the state in which article? Article 245. The territorial jurisdiction of the center and state defined in article 245 of the Constitution. Number one. See, very common understanding. The Parliament can make law for the whole of the country or part of the country. Absolutely, there should be no doubt. Any law made by the Parliament is applicable either for the whole of the country or part of the country. So, depending upon the law. So, it can be applied either whole or part of the country. When you say that country, so it is territory. Within the territory of India, parliamentary law will run. Now, what do you mean by territory? Territory includes states, union territory, and the territory which may be acquired, which are for the time being under the control of the union. Remember, suppose let us say, God forbid, let us say our India has invaded Sri Lanka and Sri Lanka has been taken possession and now it is the acquired territory. So, the law made by the Parliament will be applicable, will be applied to the acquired territory also. So, when we say that the Parliament can make law for the whole or part of the territory of India, the term territory includes states, union territory, and any other territory included within the territory of India. So, remember. In addition to this, the parliamentary laws are applicable to the citizens and their property, in any part of the world, So, not only the whole of India, not only the part of India, that within the territory of India, the territory includes states, and also union territories, and also the territories which are within the part of the India, within the part of Indian territory. And in addition, their law applies to the citizens and their property domiciled abroad. So remember, this is the jurisdiction. What is the territorial jurisdiction of parliamentary law? Now, on the other hand, the state legislature can make law either for the whole of the state or part of the state. Either for the whole of the state or part of the state. These state laws are not applicable outside the state, except there is a connection between the state and the purpose. Except upon if there is a connection between the state and the purpose. So the state law is applicable only within the state. Unless the boundary of the state is extended, the law is confined only to the state. So we have seen, as far as territorial jurisdiction is concerned, what is the territorial jurisdiction of the union and what is the territorial jurisdiction of the state. Now, the question is whether the powers of the union on territorial jurisdiction are absolute. Whether the legislative powers of the union are absolute. Whether the law of parliament applicable to all the cases. No, there are three exceptions there. Remember, there are three exceptions. The laws made by the parliament cannot be applied to three specific cases. What are those? Number one, the president can make regulations for peace, progress, and good government for 4 union territories, namely Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Dadar and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu. These 4 union territories, the president can make regulations for peace, progress, and good government. these 4 union territories. Previously Pondicherry was there, that has been removed. Now remember, where it is laid down? It has been given in Article 240. So first exception to the legislative powers of the Parliament is 240, Article 240, because it can not only that, the president, the regulation so made have the same force of law, so it is as good as a law, and this regulation can appeal or amend any act of the Parliament with regard to these 4 union territories. Remember, from examination point of view, what are the 4 union territories? Andaman Nicobar, Lakshadweep, Dadar Nagar and Haveli, Daman and Diu. These are all the 4 union territories. What is the article number? 240. This is the first exception. Second exception. What is the second exception? Article 244 read with Schedule 5. Article 244 read with Schedule 5. What are that? What is that? The governor is competent to direct that an act of Parliament does not apply to any scheduled area in the state. That is, the governor is competent to direct that an act of Parliament does not apply to any scheduled area given in Schedule 5. This is reflected in Article 244, second exception. Okay, what is the third exception? Third exception has been given in Schedule 6, which provides that the governor of Assam, understand, Assam, may direct that an act of Parliament does not apply to tribal areas, that is what is called autonomous districts in the state. The president enjoys same powers with regard to Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram in addition to Assam. Again 4, that is Assam, Mizoram, Tripura and Meghalaya, where it is given Schedule 6. So regarding the tribal areas and autonomous districts. So these are all the 3 exceptions where Parliament law will not be applicable. These are the exceptions. Very important. Parliamentary jurisdiction. These are all the exceptions. Now let us see the legislative subjects distribution. Legislative subjects distribution between the union and the state. It's a very simple, because Schedule 7 I have repeatedly told when we discuss with the legislative relations in the Parliament legislative relations. There is a Schedule 7. Schedule 7 has 3 lists. List 1, List 2, List 3. List 1 is union subjects. List 2 is state subjects. List 3 is concurrent subjects. So, this list threefold distribution of legislative subjects between the union and the state. List 1 is called union list, which has 100 subjects at present. Originally, it had only 97 subjects. What are the subjects? What are the examples? Defense, banking, foreign affairs, currency, atomic energy, communications, audit, census, etc. On these 100 subjects, remember, Parliament is competent to make law on any of these 100 subjects. This is the parliamentary jurisdiction. Then comes list 2, which is called state list. It contains 61 subjects. Originally, it had 66 subjects like public order, police, sanitation, health, agriculture, prison, fisheries, gambling, etc. Of these 61 subjects, state legislature have exclusive powers to make law in these subjects in the normal circumstances. In these 61 subjects, state legislatures have exclusive power to make law on these 61 subjects. Remember, of the 6, I told you originally it had 66 subjects. Of these 66 subjects originally found in list 2, that is state list, 5 subjects. What are the 5 subjects? 5 subjects have been transferred from state list to concurrent list. From state list to concurrent list. From list 2 to list 3. What are those subjects? What are those subjects? Education, forest, weights and measures, protection of wild animals and birds, administration of justice, constitution and organization of all courts. By when it was transferred through 42nd Amendment Act 1976, very important from PT point of view, 42nd Amendment Act 1976, 5 subjects transferred from state list to concurrence list. Thirdly, we have a concurrent list called list 3, which has at present 52 subjects. Originally, it had only 47 subjects. Of these subjects, both the union and the state legislatures can make law. Remember, originally it had 47 subjects only. I have just now told you 5 subjects have been transferred from state list to concurrent list. Including these 5 subjects, now 52 subjects are there. If there is on this, both the state legislatures and the parliament can make law on the concurrent subjects, which number to 52 subjects. Now, if there is a clash between a union law and the state law, union law will prevail over the state law unless the state law is reserved for consideration by president, and president has also given the consent to the state law. Nevertheless, please note that it would still be possible for the parliament to override such a law by subsequent law. It does not, prohibit. The center can make another law to override the law which was made by the state with the assent of the president. Remember, this is a very important point. Now, you should also note, in the case of overlapping between a union list and the concurrent list, the union list will prevail. On the other hand, if there is a conflict between a concurrent list and the state list, concurrent list will prevail. Thus, Constitution secures predominance of the union list over the state list and concurrent list, and that of the concurrent list over the state list. So remember, union list, concurrent list, state list. This is the domination as far as overlapping is concerned. There, see, as far as the other things are concerned, we will see in the next class. Thank you.